Hey, today I am joined by Forgotten Lines podcast very own James Doherty. He has a YouTube channel. Man, I just tripped across this YouTube channel the other day, and I am super excited to introduce you to James because this is a really cool concept of a YouTube channel for genealogy. Welcome, James.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh, fantastic. Well, tell us a little bit about your channel and what it is. What's the vibe over there? I really do like your channel.
Yeah, thanks. I'm so glad we were able to get together and do this. I've watched your videos for years.
Thanks.
Tons and tons of help there. So this is truly an honor. So my channel is basically, I've been an amateur / professional hybrid genealogist for a while now, a little over 10 years, with an interest in it my whole life. I started to kind of notice these pictures around antique shops and in museums and restaurants and wherever else. And I started getting curious about, I wonder if someone could figure out who that person is and maybe figure out what their story is. And it turns out there's tons of people doing that. And I wanted to take that concept and make videos and kind of show people these stories of these ordinary everyday folks whose pictures are just kind of out there and no one really remembers or talks about who they are anymore. And that's basically what happened. I took this idea of finding these pictures and giving a little bit of a process of how I find them and telling the story of these folks and try to show something a little different every time in each video. My wife helps. My wife, Alicia, she's on a few of the videos and she's my partner in crime. And we go looking for these things and she'll help me do the videos and we have a lot of fun with it.
I noticed you have a couple other people part of your team too. Are they regulars or are they just occasional folks that come on?
So those are my two best friends that
Okay.
I've had since childhood and we grew up in the same area. So a lot of the places where we find this stuff are our stomping grounds. And one of the guys, Joey, he does a lot of traveling. He goes out of state. He goes all over the place. So he finds things in like outside of driving range for me and he brings them in. He'll send videos and pictures to our little group chat and say, hey, what do you think of this? This is kind of cool. I came across this. Let's talk about this. So he's kind of our go-getter guy and he'll come in and do a couple of videos. You'll see him in our video with the family from New York and New Jersey, the Ackle family. We did that video together, and that was the one that kind of caught the algorithm, if you will, and brought more viewers in. And we did another episode together. And then the other fella, Cassidy, he was there on day one when I said, let's do these pictures, but also let's do some cemeteries. Let's go to a few older, kind of back of the woods cemeteries, find a stone that just jumps out to us, and tell the story of that person. So no picture related to it, just let's tell the story of this person who's buried here. And he was there with me the day one. I said, let's just grab a camera and go. Just hop in the car, let's go see what we come up with.
Really cool ones. The one where the guy's etched, the stone is etched in by hand.
Yeah.
Great episode.
That was the very, very first one that we went out and got. We've done several more since then, more videos coming, but that was the very first one. And that was something I had never seen before. I'd never seen a handwritten name into concrete, basically. And that ended up being a really cool story for that guy.
Now, how long have you been doing this?
The videos or genealogy?
Yeah,
in
on
general?
YouTube.
So we uploaded our first one March 17th this year on St. Patrick's Day.
You guys are killing it. You're at like almost 25,000, or have you hit 25,000 subscribers now?
I haven't hit refresh this morning. I think we were pushing it, but we're at 24,931. So right there at 25.
All right, you guys, you got to go over to, when you go to YouTube, type in the @ symbol, Forgotten Lines Podcast, and you will find them. Hit that subscribe button, help these guys out. They are doing an incredible job. I mean, the storytelling you guys are doing is just phenomenal. I'm impressed, very impressed.
Thank you.
So you got any stories you want to share with us about some of these images that you have been coming across?
Yeah, we're actually working on one right now. The video should be up maybe even by the time this one gets aired. But I went into a antique shop in Spring Hill, Tennessee, which is Middle Tennessee, just about 30 minutes south of Nashville. And it's this It's an antique mall that's built inside of an old basketball gym. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's played basketball in there in like 50 years or something. So I go in and I found this picture. Actually, I'll just show you this couple right here. I found them, and on the back it says Noble Hill. This looks like reversed, but it says Noble Hill and wife Mamie Shepherd Hill. And I grabbed that, and in the same booth, there was this little packet that had a couple of kids' pictures in it with a newspaper article, and I grabbed those. And I was in kind of a hurry, so we left. And I got to a Lowe's parking lot or something, and I was sitting there, and I pulled out the newspaper article, and I was reading it, and it had a list of all these other family names attached to it. And I remembered seeing those names at that booth, so went back over there and basically bought up like 10, 15 more pictures of this same family. And while I was researching them, they were all local. They were local to me. They were very close. And in fact, my great-grandfather was the undertaker for half of their family.
No way.
So that was kind of,
Wow.
you know, he was part of like the biggest funeral home in Lewisburg, Tennessee, and he ended up being their undertaker. And they were buried nearby. And we thought, you know what? Let's, in this video, there's not a huge story to tell on the hills, so let's go visit them. Let's go see where they're buried. And on Find a Grave, there were pictures on Find a Grave of it, and it looked like it was this nice, clean cemetery. So we get there, and there is a nice, clean cemetery, and we go up, and we're looking at all the stones, and they're nowhere to be found. I couldn't find them anywhere. And then we look, and off deep in the woods, you could see a stone sticking up. And we went back there, and this cemetery where they're buried is basically completely forgotten. There's it is deep woods. We forgot to put our off on, so we were covered in bugs and ticks and stuff. But I did, in fact, and this is, kind of important to me, I did check with the deed assessor's office to make sure that we were on public land, because I'm very big about that. I don't like going onto private property. So we always check first to make sure that it's county owned, and it was. So I felt a little better about going through the woods. But yeah, we found them. And if you want, I can screen share and show you a little bit of what we found in the woods there.
Oh, wow.
This is what we found back there. And this was deep in the woods. We probably had to walk about 100 yards through thick woods to find this. And this is where they were buried. They're off back here. This is all part of the Hill family. And you can even see, like, back there, a tomb. And this is a cairn. And this tree had completely fallen on this one. And this one is actually a baby. It says B&D, born and died 1920.
Heartbreaking.
So yeah, this is the kind of stuff that we find. This is gonna be part of our whole new video that we're working on, and we're tying the picture back to where they're buried, which is in the middle of the woods. And I guess probably the last person to come visit them was the person who uploaded their picture of their stone on Find a Grave, because they made that trek too, apparently.
So do you have any tips for people, that have these, I know you saw the episode where I was talking about unidentified photographs and uploading them to Ancestry and trying to use their picture match option, which I haven't had any success with, but I know of others who have. I'm looking for somebody who has the exact same picture with identification on the back. And then, you can do that too with reverse lookup on Google, but do you have any other tips for people who are trying to identify photographs?
I've got a few, actually. And the first one I always say is build a tree. If it's in your own family anyway, if it's your family, build a tree. And then you can narrow down a time frame of that person. It'll narrow your search quite a bit. If these folks were in my family and I was trying to figure out who they were, I would build a tree on the side and focus on whatever side that picture was found. So if it was found on my paternal grandfather's side, I would focus on his tree and try to find a married couple around the early 1900s and see if I could find a picture matched that way by somebody else.
Now, are you doing that as separate trees, or are you doing that as a floating tree within your big family tree?
Either way, I'll do a separate tree most of the time. Like when I'm out looking for strangers and stuff, I'll just build their own tree and start from where I think I can start from and build up from there. I also haven't had really any success with the matching yet on Ancestry. I'm really hopeful though, because it's the coolest tool ever, and I'm just waiting for everyone to upload everything in their attic so that we can all,
right.
match everything.
With identification, please.
Yes. Yeah.
To help us who don't have any idea. I have so many pictures with that are unidentified, but anyway.
One thing I've had a lot of success with is school yearbooks. That's a big one. If I kind of know where the person is from and the time frame, there's a lot of school yearbooks that are uploaded. Now, it starts getting harder once you get back before the 40s, and you might actually have to physically go into libraries and make a trip or something like that. But I don't know, librarians, they're really helpful. They love it when that call comes in and people are asking for help, and they're on it. They love to go digging through yearbooks and send you pictures.
Well, in some cases, they don't have anything to do but sit around and answer questions. Probably have time to do that.
That's how I found the video on my channel that's the biggest right now. That's how I found that girl. I found her picture. It's this one. I've tried to get it back to the family, but I haven't had any success with them getting back to me. But her picture, it's a yearbook photo. Well, it's a graduation photo, and the only clue on it says class of 42. And I recognized the frame because I have an ancestor who has the exact same everything, like the exact same type of picture with the same little logo that says class of 42. And I knew that it was her school book photo. And so I contacted the local library over there, and they had yearbook photos, and they were able to send it to me. And she was the only one in there that matched. So that, yearbooks help.
Yeah, one of the tricks that I've done too is to research the photographer. So a lot of times those cardboard frames has the photographer's name on it and location. And so I've got some that are from Provo, Utah, and it's got, so-and-so studio on there. And then you can go and research the photographer and try and determine, was the photographer a traveling photographer or was he anchored there in that area? And a lot of times back then, people were taking pictures for specific events. Like you said, a graduation picture, a wedding picture, a couple might get married, get a photograph taken. Even in the 1800s, they would get their photograph taken in or around the date of their marriage. So sometimes that helps you figure some of those out too, if you got what appears to be a wedding photograph.
Yeah, wedding or even mourning. Lots of women.
Wow.
There's lots of pictures of women in solid black. So you can usually figure out maybe somebody died around the same time frame, and that can help your search too. But like you said, events were really big deal for folks, and they would sometimes put on their best outfit, which was the only outfit they had, and
their Sunday go to meeting clothes.
Yep, church clothes, their Easter best.
Anything else you want to share?
Another video I have coming up that I'm really excited about is one of my own ancestors. I'm going to do a little thing on him because his photo was found in a suitcase by a distant cousin that I found through doing this stuff. He died in 1919 on a ship. His ship sank because he was working as the radio telegrapher, and it was hit like T-bone in the middle of the night by a French cutter. It wasn't war related. He was a passenger, basically a cruise liner that would go up and down the East Coast from Savannah to New York. And it got hit in the middle of the night. And his captain told him to abandon ship, and he ignored his captain so that he could type and send SOS to the coast to send help. Well, he died that night, and that ship has become a popular scuba diving attraction for advanced scuba divers to go out and explore the shipwreck. And I was able to get in touch with a scuba team out there, and they've sent me footage of them going down and doing the dive, and it's super cool. I'm excited about that one. But the picture was sent to me, and it didn't have a name. So this cousin said, I'm not too sure who this is. And I was able to go into my tree and use some of the techniques that I talk about to match him to a record that Ancestry actually had. I didn't have a picture of him either. It was on Ancestry in a specific record that required turning the page, and you got to see his face. So it's a whole big episode where we're figuring out a picture, and then a scuba team went down to find his final resting place. So that was going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Fantastic. Well, look, where can people find you? I think you said you had a Facebook group, and obviously we've talked about the YouTube channel, but tell everybody again.
Yeah, so we have the YouTube channel, Forgotten Lines Podcast, and there's also a Facebook group. It's public right now. It's not as busy as the YouTube channel, but that's where folks can come in and kind of almost like a meet and greet. I pop in there quite a bit and respond to things as we can, and people are sending in like, hey, check out what I have. I wonder if anyone can do this. And there's a community in there of folks that are trying to help. And it's a ton of fun. It keeps me on my toes, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, fantastic. I'm super excited to have had a chance to meet you and talk about your channel a little bit. Everybody, make sure that you go over to his channel and subscribe to that channel because it's really good.
Thanks.
Kudos to you, James.
Thank you.
Because it's a lot of fun to watch. I have been binge watching, I think, all but one episode. I think I've got one left to watch.
There's a few on there, not too many. We're getting it out. Folks are always asking me, oh, we want more. And I'm like, it's coming. I'm trying.
You're killing it, man. It's for a brand new channel. You guys are doing great. Your subscribers are exploding. So kudos to you. And thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. This was a true pleasure. I was, like I said, I was really excited when I saw your name on my channel. I was like, oh, I know her. Hey.
Well, we'll catch you again. Maybe we'll get you back and you can tell us some more stories.
All right. Thanks again. I can't wait.
Thank you.